Hello and namaste. My name is Shikha Jain and I welcome you all once again to another episode of Inkpot Hub Media. Our interaction today is with Dr. Subhanjan Sengupta, who is an assistant professor in strategy, innovation and entrepreneurship at BIMTECH. He was also a visiting researcher with EDUFI Fellowship of Finnish National Agency for Education at the University of Eastern Finland. His research is published in various reputed journals such as Energy Policy, Journal of Cleaner Production, Social and Enterprise Journal, and Management Journal, etc. His teaching cases are also available at Ivy Publishing and Harvard Business Review. One of his best papers was also selected as one of the top 4 finalists for Best Business Ethics Paper category at Academy of Management Annual Meeting 2020. He has also won Jagdish N. Seth Best Thesis Award 2019. He is also a reviewer in multiple journals such as Business and Politics, International Journal of Entrepreneurial Behavior, Journal of Strategy and Management, etc. to name a few. We are really excited and honored to hear his story. Welcome, Dr. Subhanjan. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Jain. And it's a pleasure to share anything from my experience that can be of use to the audience. But then you have said a lot of nice things. I think I've just started to scratch the surface of research, and it's just a humble attempt. And I think I am sailing in the same sea as everybody else. It's a turbulent sea, so I'm trying to do my little bit, and everything else, anything good is a happy accident, I think. Because of the good people in my life more than me and my work. But then thank you very much.
We appreciate your humbleness and modesty. So you have published many research papers and won multiple awards in the area of social entrepreneurship and innovation.
Well, I think I still have a lot more to publish. I don't have that many papers, I would say. But then perhaps my rate of publishing is a bit slow than the normal, because I usually take up an inductive approach and a theorizing approach more towards theory generation rather than theory testing. And while both the approaches have their own nuances and own strengths and limitations, my work does take some time. But then if you're asking me that how it reached to this point, then it's an interesting journey in my life. My high schooling was in economics and statistics. My graduation was English honors. And then I did a master's in business and management studies. And that's hard to connect. But the point is that I think somewhere that has helped me to connect remote dots. And one thing which I would say that I have observed in myself is that I've always liked to do things that gives me a feeling of originality and the construction of an identity of my own in a more positive sense. I think the seed of scientific research was laid into me. In any case, I have been an avid reader, and I have been trying to write a lot in my life. I remember in my high school and early college days, I used to write in the supplement of the national newspaper, The Statesman. And at that age, I used to have editorial meetings and write a lot. And I think somewhere that, as I said, that feeling of originality and writing something new, bringing in a new thought, that has been there. I have something in me which is not encouraged, and that is that I always try to take a different path, and it has its own risks and own challenges. So I remember that in my master's project, my master's internship was with a social enterprise in Bengal, and that was an opportunity to show me a new world of entrepreneurship and innovation that connects business and society. and I was an outlier in my batch to do something like that, and there were people who demotivated me. Since then, I did not look back because I found a solution-oriented approach to our problems in the world through social entrepreneurship. And that stayed into me. After a short stint with the industry, I really wanted to come back to academia because I wanted to have more independence, more original thinking, an opportunity to review and critique multiple viewpoints in the world. And at the end of the day, you want your performance to be more democratically assessed. And then when I came back to academia, initially I was into teaching, majorly teaching. But then gradually I realized as academics, we need to bring in our freedom of independent thinking, marry it with a critical analysis approach, and bring in new knowledge. Because in the master's project, actually with the professor who had motivated me to do that kind of a project, he and I did an ethnographic study in my master's level. So, these are life incidents which put seeds in you. And that's why I wanted my doctoral journey also to be a revealing one, a very personal journey, and a journey which can show me the world. My doctoral journey ended up becoming a very humbling and character building and life-changing experience. And of course, I would like to mention definitely that my doctoral journey would not have been possible without the support of a lot of good people. Of course, my thesis supervisor, Professor Unadita Sahai, who was a great support. He always gave me the freedom to decide what is it that I want to do, discover by myself, and pursue, not being swayed or impressed by tools or methods, but going by the problem and finding the relevant approach, methodological approach for the problem. My parents have been a great support. I mean, without my mom and dad, I can't imagine having done this. When all the time I was so busy burning my midnight oil far away from home. My sister has been taking care of my parents. I'm obliged to her. And I think, in my life, I consider my wife as a far better scholar and a much accomplished researcher. I'm just scratching the surface. And she has always motivated me to do my research. And I thank her every day. And I'm very happy that she is doing great in her area of work. And the fact that we are very different disciplines. So basically, she's in microbiology. In our house, we by the nature of things, we have a very multidisciplinary environment. And I think that is very important in today's research. And as you can, if you have a look at my doctoral work, it is interdisciplinary. It has strategy, it has marketing, it has entrepreneurship.
So
it has got social issues.
At the dinner table, the brainstorming sessions do happen at your home.
Actually, during the course of my doctoral journey, I was also applying for international grants. In order to go out, look at the world. You need to expose yourself to comparative context and develop your network. And I happened to, so that's a story in itself, but then I happened to get this fellowship from the government of Finland. So I thank my better half, my wife, because she also knows about fellowships in different areas, and she gave me this information about the EDUFI Fellowship, and I applied to this Finnish university with an excellent professor in University of Eastern Finland, who is Professor Hanna Lehtimäki, and we got that. And my experience in Scandinavia has been one of the best. I mean, we have so much to learn from the Nordic context, whether it's education, whether it's healthcare, whether it's governance, whether it is society, whether it's economy. I think there is a lot that we can learn from the Scandinavian context. And all I can say that those were the times that I got introduced to collaborative research, uh, the value of independent thinking and scientific research. They build in you the uh, the perspective of doing interdisciplinary futuristic scientific research on the grand challenges that we have in the world.
You are also very passionate about photography and traveling. Your website has amazing pictures about it. So, how does going places impact your research work?
So traveling has happened just by chance. So as I said, during my doctoral research, I have traveled a lot. So my research actually took me to rural areas in 5 provinces in India, and that involved traveling, meeting a lot of people, uh, being in a way ethnographic in a certain sense, though I will not say ethnography in a methodological sense, but then my travels have helped me appreciate human subjectivity and the cognitive side of things. During my visiting research work at the University of Eastern Finland, I traveled a lot. I traveled to many countries in Europe, and I also went to the Arctic. I enjoyed the northern lights and
Wow.
the minus 30 degrees. But it's been an amazing experience. But there was a time when photography was a medium for me to be original, creating something by yourself on your own, something new, something original, and that gives a sense of fulfillment and identity. So there was a time when the mode of expression, the means of expression was writing a newspaper, which I said you, or photography, or painting, or whether now it is research. So research is the means. The end is to create something new, and that's how I think traveling and photography, in a very general sense,
Nice.
has helped me to. It's just a part of my path. That's it.
So, out of all the papers which you have written, which one is close to your heart?
So there are two ways of talking about this. One is the paper that is ongoing, and the paper which is published. So I think one of the papers which was recently published, it was about converging the market and the social logics in social entrepreneurship by examining the actions and the voices of social entrepreneurs, the people within their enterprises, and community people. That was part of my part of one of the key aspects of my doctoral work. And so the paper which came out from that has challenged the view that the market and the social are detached, can be looked at two different things, and rather argues that they are one when it comes to a social enterprise operating on ground, right? For them, the market and the social, they go hand in hand, and they have a common meaning, right? So that is one of the papers which you can say is close to my heart. The other one which you mentioned was one of the finalists, top 4 finalists in the best business ethics paper category in the social issues in management division of the Academy of Management AOM conference this year. That paper has been developed in collaboration with my professor at University of Eastern Finland, in which we are going beyond the heroic perspective of the individual entrepreneur.
Okay.
And we are examining the practice of ethics on ground by the entrepreneurs and the community people.
Okay.
So here we go beyond the understanding of ethics as a virtue to the understanding of ethics as practice. Here we are talking more specifically about a relational practice. So basically we are seeing how the social entrepreneurs and the community people, they collectively do a meaning making, and in that relational process they are ethical. More specifically, we are looking at the theory of care ethics. So these two, you can say, are close to my heart right now, amongst other things.
How do you plan to bring your experience and experiments into your classroom?
So this is a bit connected to my understanding of education. If you read at the evolution of management education, you will see that management education has moved from being only a functionalist domain to also critical management science. So in my teaching, it is mostly interactive, and it's not very lecture based or didactic. And I think many of us today do very much that in management education. And particularly in what I teach, I try to evoke a sense of responsibility and sustainability. Because I think that is the truth today, and we are here to stay. As future business leaders, they have to think of the wicked problems in the world, the grand challenges,
Absolutely.
and what it means to say sustainability or responsibility. I also try to make them appreciate and consider human subjectivity. What is society? What is business? What is environment? Who are the actors? You know, it's not just about the functions, it's also about stakeholders. So, these things are there in my research, and I try to see that if that can be brought into in whichever way possible, so how we can help them, get a flavor of these things, right? And then I think it has been going well.
One last question, Dr. Sengupta. What is your message to the young PhD aspirants or the people who want to make a career in research?
I think the first thing that I will say that this is a very precious journey. It is a journey to rediscover oneself. I think initially there is this thing that you need to get a degree, and you need to, for some it is an entry to academics, for some it is growth in academics. But I think one of the essential things is that we need to develop a higher purpose. We need to at least arrive to that during the course of the doctoral journey. And I have seen that, I don't know how it will be taken, in which way it will be taken if I say that I have seen doctoral scholars who get a little bit, too much trapped in the idea of methods and tools. I think scholars need to put a lot of time in understanding problems and the problem holders, and also not get swayed by catchy trends. For example, if a scholar comes to me to tell that I want to do a doctoral work on Internet of Things or artificial intelligence, I tell them that is not a problem. Artificial intelligence, or let's say precision technology, is something that you need to use to address a problem. Our world today has grand challenges, wicked problems. We as researchers have to think of those problems, and we're not going to save the world, but the purpose of scientific research is to come up with, either by testing existing knowledge that it works in different contexts despite the variance, or you create new knowledge. That is the vision. Methods, tools, approaches, collaborations come after that. They're very important.
Absolutely.
But they come after that. And one thing is that I would always say, have an aspiration. Either you try to be the best, or you try to be the first. Either you try to be the best or you try to be the first. They are both equally difficult because they have their own risks.
True.
And that calls for a huge commitment. But I'm sure if someone has decided to get onto a doctoral journey, it means that they are somewhere ready. but it's about continuously pushing yourself. Repeated failures, your papers get rejected again and again. You write research projects and proposals for grants, awards. Doctoral students should always apply for awards. Once they are through most of their work, their EFMD awards, there are a lot of national, international awards. Apply. The more you apply, you are continuously writing and questioning your own thoughts. And last but not the least, I would definitely say that the age ahead is that of interdisciplinarity. We have to break our academic silos, and we have to work together. We have to form research groups. There's a lot to be done. So I think that's
Thank you
that's
so
what
much,
I'd say.
Dr. Sengupta.
My pleasure.
Press the
Thank you
bell
very
icon
much.
on the
Thank you.
YouTube app and never miss another update.